While the rest of the world is moving toward electric cars and smart energy systems, around 600 million people in Africa live without electricity. According to the World Bank, this represents around 80% of the global population without power, and the gap is not closing fast enough. In fact, Africa produces only 3.3% of the global electricity, according to the African Energy Commission. So how can a continent so rich in energy resources still have so many people living in the dark? To understand where Africa is going, we first need to understand what is powering it today. Africa's energy system is growing fast. Since 2010, the total energy supply has increased by nearly 40%, reaching over 900 million tons of oil equivalent, according to the African Energy Commission. But here's the surprising part. The biggest energy source in Africa is neither gas nor oil. It's biofuel and waste. You can think of it like wood and charcoal, making up about 40% of the total energy used. And when it comes to electricity, fossil fuels still dominate, making around 70 to 75% of the power generation. But all these numbers don't tell the full story, because in Africa, everything depends on where you live. Let's consider North Africa, for instance. The electricity access there is above 90%. Countries like Morocco and Egypt have renewable and stable energy systems. But in sub-Saharan Africa, this is only true for about half of the population. And in rural areas, that drops to around 33%, according to the African Energy Commission's data. Now, look at the regional strengths. Southern Africa, for instance, produces around 98% of the total continent's coal. And East Africa holds nearly half of Africa's hydropower capacity. So each region has energy, but not everyone has access to it. You might logically ask yourself, if traditional systems are not enough, what's the alternative? What remains? Africa may not follow the same path as Europe or America. It may skype straight to something new. According to the Africa's energy reports, renewables are expected to grow from 27% today to over 40% by 2030. But the real revolution is happening off the grid. More than 77 million people have already gained access to electricity through solar home systems. No power lines, no massive infrastructures, just decentralized energy. And now, guess what's happening? Global institutions are stepping in. The World Bank and the African Development Bank have launched Mission 300. The goal? Connect 300 million people to electricity by 2030. Half through grid extension and the other half through decentralized off-grid solutions. This is definitively one of the most ambitious energy projects ever. I know it sounds very crazy and exciting, and you might then logically ask yourself, why are so many people without electricity if such a solution already exists? In fact, the biggest problem is not technology, it's scale. Africa's population is growing so fast that even as progress is made, around 570 million people remain without electricity, according to the energy reports. Then there is investment. Africa faces a 400 billion financing gap, according to the World Bank. And many investors hesitate because of political risk, regulatory uncertainty, and unstable infrastructures. I do deeply believe that Africa's story is not just about electricity. It's about development. It's about jobs. It's about education. And it's about health care. But electricity is the foundation of everything. And while the challenges are massive, progress is real. Electricity generation in the African continent has almost doubled since 2010. Renewable is rising, and billions of dollars are being invested in Africa's energy future. So the question is, what is the next step? What is the best step forward? Large-scale infrastructures or decentralized renewable solutions? Let me know what you think in the comment section. See you in the next video.